Tonight's episode of America's Hometown Horror is brought to you by our friends at Fangoria magazine. That's right, the first name in fright since 1979 is now an affiliate of America's Hometown Horror. And because of that, we can now offer you an exclusive 20% discount on any first-time magazine subscription or merchandise purchase by heading over to shop.fangoria.com and using the code HometownHorrorPod at checkout. That's shop.fangoria.com/HometownHorrorPod, or just use the code HometownHorrorPod at checkout for that exclusive discount on anything from Fangoria. Tonight's episode of America's Hometown Horror is also brought to you by our friends at Horror Facts Magazine. Never heard of Horror Facts Magazine? Well, if you're a horror fan, they're a name that you absolutely should know. You can find them over at horrorfacts.com, and they're a great resource for all things horror, including news, reviews, editorials, and lots of other horror podcasts, not only limited to, but including America's Hometown Horror. So head on over to horrorfacts.com and check them out. Now, let's get on with the show. All right, hello, and welcome into another episode of America's Hometown Horror. My name is Mike. Thanks so much for checking back in with us. We certainly appreciate your support. Good evening, as always, and if you're interested in such things, here's where you can find our show online. First place is our website, which is ahpod.com. It's AHHPOD.com. Go there for more info about the show, about us, for our blog, etc., etc. You can also find us on pretty much every social media platform, including Twitter, X, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Just search for America's Hometown Horror. You'll find us. You can also email us at hometownhorrorpodcast@gmail.com. And the newest thing we're offering is if you want to have your voice heard on the show, specifically our 200th episode, which will be coming up next week, you can call us and leave us a voicemail at 508-927-1267. That's 508-927-1267. And as always, the most important thing you can do for our show, if you like what we do, is like, subscribe to the show, and leave us a review, preferably a 5-star review. That helps the show get better, helps us grow. Last but certainly not least, thanks as always to our buddy Shaun from Skywheel Media, who is now handling all of our audio and music production for the show. We sound great, all because of Shaun. And if you have a podcast that you're looking to get taken to the next level in terms of sound quality, give us a message and we can put you in touch with Shaun, and he can do the same for you. And with that, I say, welcome to JANthology 3, or what will be some form of JANthology again this year. Our third time doing it. JANthology 3. It's a trilogy. But things may sound a little different tonight because we are remote. The cold weather is getting everybody sick, including a couple members of our show. Andrew is unable to join us tonight because of his illness that he has, but Matt is here along with Kat.
Hello.
Matthew, lady, gentlemen, hello, good evening. What's up?
What's going on, guys?
What's up?
How we doing?
I'm looking at this Fangoria. So Mike got this new Fangoria, and it's funny on the cover. It's interesting. It says the last voyage of the Demeter, sucking at sea, which further explains my point of the movie Sucking.
Well, two things. It's referring to sucking blood at sea because Dracula.
Well,
so there's that, and also
suck.
This is not the newest issue of Fangoria that you're looking at in front of you here. That is the issue of Fangoria that had an exclusive article about the movie that we're talking about, Satanic Hispanics. So I went back and read through that.
And Talk to Me.
And Talk to Me's on the cover of this one. So this is a couple issues ago.
It did throw me off.
So what's that?
It did throw me off. I was like, wait a minute.
Yep. I think since the last time we recorded, Matt and I both received our latest winter issue of Fangoria, the one with "It's a Wonderful Knife" on the cover. You had a chance to thumb through that yet, Matt?
Yeah. Briefly.
Yep.
But I'm going to sit down and try to really crack into it this weekend. I'll have a little bit of extra time.
Yep, same. I thumbed through it to see what we were looking at for coverage of stuff, but I want to really sit down and read a lot of it. So yes. Gotta get used to this whole remote thing. I know we don't do it super often, but it definitely is a little bit of an adjustment period, especially when the four of us are always sitting across from each other and sitting here in person. And of course, I'm still sitting here with Catherine in person, who is making all sorts of faces behind my back on the restream call here. So that's all fun stuff. But Guys, happy True Detective Week.
Yeah.
When does it come out?
Comes out Sunday night is the first episode.
Oh, it's going to be a late. Oh, and you know what? Martin Luther King is on Monday, so I have so we can
next
stay up
weekend.
and watch
Yep.
it.
Wait, what?
No. Martin Luther King is
Monday's,
on Monday.
Yeah, Monday's MLK Day, so it's a holiday.
Holiday.
So Kat gets the day off, which means that we can.
Yeah, dude.
How about this? We can stay up like adults and watch True Detective Night Country.
I thought that was
my God, I cannot
later.
wait.
So
What's
we
that?
have a long weekend this weekend.
Yes.
We do have a long weekend.
Dude,
According to
yeah.
Kat, I haven't checked my calendar, but Kat says that it is so. So I'm choosing to.
No, it is.
And actually, looking at my calendar, it is. Yep, the 15th is Martin Luther King Day. So that'll be a long weekend coming up. And so I am stoked for True Detective. Obviously, I'm a huge fan. And this season is getting some good reviews pre-release. So I'm very excited to see what they're bringing to this table with the new season. They're doing a lot of talk about connections to the first season and Easter eggs and supernatural stuff. So I'm really pumped to see where they go with this.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I mean, because I don't have I have HBO Max. I don't have cable, and I don't think I can watch it until it airs an hour after that. So I'll probably watch it.
It's a very good question. Yeah, I wonder when it will actually drop on HBO Max.
Probably watch it Monday. Playoff football starts Sunday and Saturday. So.
Yep, super wild card weekend, baby.
Yeah. Wait,
big weekend.
Wait. Back up. So it airs on Sunday
night.
But you can't watch it until an hour after?
No. I think it goes live typically when the airing time is.
Oh, it's the same.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'd have to look into it.
We need to look into that.
Yeah, we'll find out. But either way, we're going to be watching True Detective Night Country. So
we have True Detective meat dinners.
I suppose that we certainly could have True Detective meat dinners in the vein of our old Walking Dead meat dinners.
Yeah.
Which I know you've explained on this podcast.
Sunday suppers.
Several times.
Shauno knows.
Yep, Shauno knows. Shauno may have a chance to listen to this whole thing this week, because I know Shauno is taking a much-deserved vacation with his family.
Oh, yeah.
Leaving within the next couple of days. They're going to Disney World, so happy for them. Hopefully they have a blast. I told them to ride the Tower of Terror 35 times for me. It's the best ride ever.
Is it still there?
It's an awesome ride. Still there.
Oh, yeah.
Still there, still alive and kicking, which is awesome. So, guys, got a couple news things. It's been a few weeks. It's been a hot minute since we talked about some new stuff, because we had a couple weeks off for the holidays, and then we came back with our top 10 of 2023 episode. By the way, how do we all feel that went? Everybody happy with their lists and everything that we talked about on that? Yeah.
Yes.
I listened back to the
Perfect.
news. I liked it. I was happy with it.
Excellent. I think Andrew was too. So he didn't. Andrew didn't give me any thoughts, but I'm sure he was happy as always.
I think I won.
I don't think it was a competition, but I mean, if you want to say that you won, that's fine. I guess. Yeah.
I won.
Okay. Kat
won the
won.
draft.
So yeah, Kat won. Kat won with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey as her number one movie of 2023. Yeah.
Because I've seen it twice.
Yeah. So that's your qualification for being number one. It's just seeing a movie multiple times.
Well, if I like it enough to watch it twice, it says something. I mean, most of the time I don't remember any movies. So for me to see it twice, that's a big thing.
It's also a big thing when you take enough interest in a movie to take down some notes, as you did with this particular movie that we'll talk about in just a few short minutes.
So
yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
That's okay. No worries.
You're getting a little wild over there.
Yeah. But I was going to say, so yeah, a couple news things I want to run through quickly here. Just since it's been a few weeks since we talked about news, and some things have happened in the horror world. And this happened a few weeks back, but I feel like it's worth covering because it is such a high profile train wreck. And that is all the news surrounding the new Scream movie that's was supposed to come out. Matt, did you hear anything about this?
I mean, I heard that Jenna Ortega and what's her name?
Yep.
Marissa.
So Melissa Barrera was essentially fired from the movie because she made some comments about the Israel-Hamas situation that a lot of Hollywood executives did not care for. So she was fired from the movie. And then shortly following that, Jenna Ortega, who is probably the biggest star in the movie, I feel like her star is definitely rising over the last couple of years between the Scream movies and the Wednesday series, and she's in the new Beetlejuice movie that's coming out. So she left the movie.
She's in Prey too, right?
She was not in Prey. No.
Who's the girl from Prey? She looked like Jenna Ortega.
I'm not sure what her name is, but it's not Jenna Ortega in Prey.
All right.
So anyway, both the main stars are gone. Jenna Ortega claimed that it had been in the works before Melissa Barrera was let go, but I mean, that doesn't seem to make any sense to me.
No.
And then in addition to that, Christopher Landon, who was set to direct the movie, he is best known for directing the Happy Death Day movies. He was going to direct this new Scream 7 movie, and he has also exited the project. And right now, the whole thing's just kind of fucking up in limbo, which is wild. So, to which I say, maybe it's not a horrible thing to just let these movies kind of, go the way of the dinosaur and just go extinct for a little while. They really
didn't need to come back. I love Scream, but they really did not need to keep going.
I know. As our resident huge Scream franchise fan, Kat, it is interesting to hear you say that. Because, I mean, if you're saying it doesn't need to come back, then I don't think,
same as Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Leave it alone. Why did you bring that back? Didn't need to come back.
Yeah.
Kind of dumb.
Cat's firing on all cylinders right now.
Yeah.
Well, and again, I know Matt and I, definitely were not fans of the most recent movie at all. The first one that came out a couple years ago, or the first sequel that came out a couple years ago, was okay. Really did not like the most recent one, but yeah, certainly seems like Scream 7 is kind of dead in the water right now. So we'll see what happens with that. It'll be at least be interesting to see what they try and do with it. If they try and take it in a new direction with some new characters, you never know.
Maybe they just make it like a half hour long and say, yeah, that's it, the end.
I don't think they're going to make a half hour. I don't think they're going to make a half hour Scream movie. If I had to guess, but you never know. Hey, crazier things have happened, I guess. All right, and then up next here, did you guys? I know Andrew sent this in our group chat. Did you have a chance to take a look at what Letterboxd had for the highest top 10 rated horror movies of the year for 2023?
Yes,
there were definitely some movies that made our lists, but there were a few on there that I hadn't really heard of, and a few surprises.
Yeah, some sneakers.
Yeah, so top 10 movies according to Letterboxd. Number 10 was Who Sarah, the Bone Woman, which I know, Matt, you had on your list.
Sure did.
Then we had The Passenger, which I don't know if I've heard of that one. Andrew had that.
That was up there on his.
Rebirth.
That was like his top 2 or 3.
That's right. Matt, you had Birth Rebirth on yours, I believe. Yep. Vincent Must Die at 7, which is one that I haven't heard of. Scream 6 at 6. Boo. And then at number 5, Romancham. I don't even know if I'm saying that.
So correctly. I knew about this one. I had seen it on Letterboxd. It was on my list just of the general movies to watch for 2023. No idea what it is. Yep. I know it's is it Indian or
it might be.
Yeah.
I just have literally a list. Let me see. Romancham 2023. It's a horror comedy film.
Oh.
It is an Indian Malaysian film.
Okay.
Yep. Indian film.
That was on a lot of top 10s. For people that were able to get through to festival stuff. So obviously we don't get that kind of luxury, but I guess that's fucking cool. So
yeah, pretty sweet. Number 4 was a movie called Sleep. Number 3 was a movie called Infested. And then number 2, When Evil Lurks, and at number 1, Talk to Me. Matt, have you heard of Sleep or Infested?
Sleep I heard of. Again, there was another one that kind of crept on the initial list early. And then Infested, I just saw. That one is supposed to basically be that'll be on our watch list this year. So I think that's one of those ones that's a festival release last year, and then we get to have fun with it this year.
Yep. All right. Definitely can check those out. And then also I saw, in addition to that, the top 2 rated movies overall for the entire year. Number 1 was Godzilla -1, which I really still can't wait to see.
Me too.
Got to see that. And then also the new movie from Yorgos Lanthimos, that Poor Things movie with Emma Stone and Mark Ruffalo and Willem Dafoe. It's supposed to be really good.
It is.
It looks very interesting.
Yeah, my buddy said it's great. He said it's not a horror movie though.
Yeah, I heard it's kind of almost like a comedic, dramatic take on a weird Frankenstein riff type thing.
Yeah, he said it's like a weird European Young Frankenstein.
Interesting. Okay, I definitely want to check that one out too. So still got a bunch of movies from 2023 that I want to catch up on. But with that being said, we are now officially with our first 2024 horror movie that's been released this year. Of course, it is a Blumhouse joint called Night Swim. Not getting great reviews, but did do $17 million worldwide at the box office over its first weekend. This is the one that supposedly it's a haunted pool, and the creature monster looks like it is ripped from the haunted swimming pool episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark from the 90s.
That sounds like that.
Yep. So we got Blumhouse just ripping off Are You Afraid of the Dark and making millions of dollars off its back. Which, yep. So I'll probably check that one out whenever it comes to streaming, but I'm certainly not gonna pay for that in theaters.
Is it PG-13?
It is PG-13.
Kat, you have homework.
Yep. There you go, Kat.
I will watch it.
But it just continues the trend of Blumhouse just continuing to put out PG-13 horror movies that make a fucking shitload of money, man. And it's good for horror. I'm not going to lie and say that it's not a good thing for horror, because any interest in horror movies is a good thing.
Good for bad horror.
Good for bad horror.
But they can also appeal to a younger audience if it's PG-13, which
Correct.
a lot of those people who are going to PG-13 movies are the people that are going to the movie theater in general.
Yep.
I feel like.
You're correct.
We've talked a lot about gateway horror on this show in the past, and it certainly is a thing. And without gateway horror movies, I don't think the three of us or Andrew would be here talking about horror weekly. So there's definitely something to be said for that. So hey, more power to Blumhouse, and good for Night Swim making a shitload of money, and good for Kurt Russell's son, Wyatt Russell, who's in it. He's awesome. So, yes, so that is Night Swim, which you can see in theaters now. This was a piece of news that I saw here that I was very interested in, because anytime his name comes up, my ears perk up, and that is Jordan Peele teasing his next movie, which is still unnamed. And he basically is saying that he is, quote, psyched to have another idea that could become his personal favorite.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was on Conan O'Brien's podcast recently. And this movie is, again, it's untitled, supposed to be coming out Christmas of this year.
So I was going to say, it is this year?
Yep. Let me see here. I just want to make sure I have that correct. So... Universal Pictures recently bumped Jordan Peele's untitled fourth movie from its original December 25th of 2024 release date, and we have not been provided with a new date. Delayed due to last year's SAG-AFTRA and WGA strikes. But yeah, he did say, which kind of sucks. I mean, but it definitely is going to push some things back. Let's see. Peele said, quote, it's been an interesting year because the writer's strike had me in a state of listening, and that's where I need to be. I do feel like my next project is clear to me, and I'm psyched that I have another film that, could be my favorite movie if I make it right. So that's essentially him saying a whole lot of nothing. But again, anytime he's going to talk about whatever it is that he's making, I'm interested, and I want to know what this is. I just wonder if every movie that he makes from now on is going to get the Nope treatment, where we're not going to know what it is until like the first like poster and like little teaser for it drop.
Absolutely.
That's fine.
Why wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of cool with it too. I like stuff that's kind of shrouded in mystery with his stuff, but I'll see anything that he makes. And I know Andrew feels the same way. So that's a little bit of non-news on Jordan Peele's latest movie or newest movie that will be coming out eventually. Here's a piece of news that came out very recently that piqued my interest, and that is David Bruckner will be writing and directing a remake of The Blob. Did you see this, Matthew? I see you nodding your head, so I think yes, you can say you are excited about this one as well.
So I'm interested in it because obviously there's the original like 50s Blob with Steve McQueen. Great movie, not bad. Given a 50s sci-fi like B horror movie. And then
however
the 80s version is fucking rad, dude. It's crazy. There's unbelievable effects in that. It's a really, really rough, gory movie. Shawnee Smith, arguably the hottest she's ever been.
Yep. But
so now I'm curious because I remember there was like buzz that like Rob Zombie was going to do it at one point.
That's right. We I had that as one of my my trivia questions when we were doing trivia back in October. There was this concept art out there for an unmade Rob Zombie Blob movie that was supposed to happen.
Refresh me, David Bruckner. His most recent movie was
so Bruckner's latest movie was Hellraiser. He did the Hellraiser remake. He also did The Night House. He did The Ritual. He did Southbound. He's worked on the VHS movie. So he's done a ton of stuff.
Okay, yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah, absolutely. Love the 80s Blob. Love the idea of it. And I think it's definitely something that, is kind of ripe for a remake because it hasn't really been done since the one in the 80s. So, and David Bruckner, good filmmaker. I like the majority of his stuff. So I'm interested to see what he'll do with it, which is pretty cool. So I'm in on the Blob remake. So I guess if we're just going to continue to keep getting remakes, I'm all for getting,
be a good one.
Some good ones. Absolutely. We're also getting Caitlin Dever joining the cast of The Last of Us for season 2. So she.
When does that come out?
Sometime, I believe, in the end of this year.
Probably 2025.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So Caitlin Dever, you've probably seen her in a bunch of stuff, but she was most recently in the Hulu horror alien movie called No One Will Save You, which I did not particularly care for, which is surprising. A lot of people really liked it, had it on their top 10 horror movie lists of the year. And I like alien stuff. It just didn't really do it for me. But she's going to be playing a character called Abby, which I guess if you have played the Last of Us games, she is a huge character and plays a pivotal role in the story moving forward. So she'll be popping up in The Last of Us. I feel like definitely excited for that show to come back and see where they go with it. But I hope that it continues to be as good as it was without just kind of going through the usual zombie show motions, if you know what I mean.
I think they have a lot to uphold with the storyline of the video game. I've never played it, but I know people that have, and they're pretty hardcore.
Yeah, Last of Us fans are pretty rabid. They definitely, have a lot of great things to say about the story for those games, and so I have some faith. I thought the first season was pretty good, so we'll see where they go with season 2 and whenever it does.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there'd be a reason for them to try and really go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, it's no True Detective, but nothing is. What can I say? All right. Last but certainly not least, I know I sent this out in our group chat the other day, but this is something that's pretty cool. And if you're a horror fan, this is definitely the type of thing that you should check out. And if you believe that you are knowledgeable enough with your horror fandom, Bloody Disgusting is working with a couple of other companies to put together the first ever horror trivia game show, which is called Better Luck Than Chuck. Let's see. Hey, horror fans, didn't get everything you wanted for Christmas? Don't worry, we've got you covered. How'd you like the chance to prove that you were the smartest horror fan in the world, all while competing for exciting prizes? Let's see here. Scotchworthy Productions and The Line have teamed up with Bloody Disgust to give you Better Luck Than Chuck, the first ever horror trivia game show, with the grand prize being a trip, all expenses paid, to Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights, which is pretty fucking cool. And I submitted an application to go on, so we'll see if they pick me. Hopefully they do. Matt, did you end up submitting an application for that?
I got halfway through it. I got to finish it up.
There you go. Nice. So yeah, again, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just say it's just like if I have to go to, where is it, like Indiana?
I'm not sure. I think it's somewhere in, like, if you win or you get selected, I think they film it in Illinois. I think in maybe Chicago.
Yeah, it's just somewhere.
Yeah. So I'm sure they're getting
my favorite place.
I'm sure they're getting thousands of applicants. So you never know. Stranger things have happened, I guess, but I'd be surprised. Anyway, you can go to betterluckthanchuck.com to find out more information about the show, and you can submit your application to be on the show. And they're going to start filming that in March, and I think that they're going to have all of their candidates selected by the beginning of February. So Better Luck Than Chuck for a free trip to Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. Very quickly, last thing. I saw this earlier, and I don't have any notes written down for it, but did you guys see officially that they did say, I think we talked about this a little while back because it was rumored that it's now official that Danny Boyle and Alex Garland are reteaming for 28 years later, the sequel.
Yeah, I saw that get put out literally like 2 hours ago.
So that's happening. And apparently they said that this may lead to a new trilogy of films, which that kind of made me a little weary. I'm like, nope, we don't need that. Just do one.
Exhausting.
Let's do one. Like, this is what happened with the Halloween requel trilogy, and what happened with
Everything.
The Exorcist Believer and
Scream.
Yeah, and Scream, and let's
Star Wars.
why don't we just do it one movie at a time?
Yeah.
Like this.
I have
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just say, I just wanted to make sure I have one cool news thing to bring up, unless you have it on your list as well.
That was all I had, so go for it.
That so Bloody Disgusting got like a cool teaser trailer.
Oh, right.
For a Neon might be the release team of the year for 2024. It looks like they got some serious movies coming out this year. But they put out this teaser trailer that looks creepy as shit, and it's speculated to be the Nicolas Cage serial killer movie Longlegs.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be fucking wild.
Yeah, that teaser trailer was awesome, and whatever it is,
it's cool.
I'm into it.
So I like how they didn't tell you, but Neon, they got that movie Cuckoo that I think I mentioned on the top 10 as one of my anticipated ones, and then there's that Sydney Sweeney movie that's coming out. I forget what it's called. It's not Immortal, but it's
something like that.
Yeah, it's something like that. But Sydney Sweeney's hot, so I'm in.
I was gonna say, yeah, she's a little easy on the eyes for sure. Sydney Sweeney horror movie. Let me see what it is. Hold on.
Sydney Sweeney horror movie.
Just for research purposes. Nope, not Madam Web.
Images.
Immaculate.
Immaculate, yeah.
That's the one. Okay, there we go. So, all right. Good stuff, folks. Anyone have anything else newsworthy before we move along?
I do not.
All right. We're going to get to watch list here, but why don't we take a quick little break to pay some bills? We'll be right back. All right, we're back. So why don't we talk some watch list stuff here? I have a couple things. I know it's been a few weeks since we've talked a lot about this, and I did watch a lot of 2023 horror movies over the last few weeks that did not make my top 10. Some of them were okay to bad. Matt, do you have anything you want to talk about that you watched?
So I'll talk about it because I didn't really talk much about it on the top 10, and you had it at your number 2. But Last Voyage of the Demeter I did watch late.
And
your cat's favorite movie of the year.
It was fine. And you know what's funny is I recently just finished listening to Dracula on audiobook.
Yep.
And that was actually why I kind of wanted to listen to that first, which god damn it, what a brutal book to try and get through. It's very, very boring.
Oh, it's real, dude. I have the physical, like, actual copy of the book, and it's a challenging read.
I would have never made it. Yeah. And I'm a pretty consistent, like, staunch reader, but no fucking shot. But yeah, you know what, dude? I just don't think I like period pieces. And it makes me nervous that I'm not gonna like Nosferatu.
I know. I hope. I mean,
you say that like you're worried for me.
I have high hopes for that, though. I mean,
I do too. I'm sure it's gonna be great, but I have such a hard fucking time doing it. Outside of like The Witch I really got into, but the content of that was so good. Like that movie, like it was like there's a lot going on. Like, you know what I mean? Like period pieces are kind of boring.
I'm with you. I
will say,
pieces.
Yeah, Dracula's tough.
The Voyage
written in the 1890s, so it's definitely it feels very old when you're reading it.
It did have cool parts though, like the burn the guy at the stake, which I think I mentioned on the top 10. The scene with the little boy come back to life and like stuff like that. Like there's a lot of cool makeup effects and shit like that. But it's just like there's also a lot of like dredging through like just fucking swashbuckling dudes on a ship.
Swashbuckle.
It's all right. I take zero offense. I know a lot of people did not like the movie. I cared for it. I thought it was awesome. So that's okay.
Voyage of the Last suck.
Other than that, there's a couple other movies I watched. I mentioned one called The Tower, which was a French movie, which was it was interesting. This black like mold fog thing kind of encases this like high rise apartment building, and they can't get out, and it basically creates like a dystopian world within their community in the tower throughout like a 7-year span. French, bleak, not great, not bad, but it did the trick.
French and bleak is usually the name of the game for you, my friend.
Yeah. And then a movie called Perpetrator. I didn't really like this movie. This is a 2023 release. This girl is like living with her aunt who has like this weird secret. Like they have this like thing that they have happen to them when they turn 18, and they're able to like change bodies or something. I don't know. I had a hard time following it. I didn't really like it. And then I did watch a couple movies that were just 2023 movies I hadn't seen. I watched the Holdovers, which was great. That obviously not horror.
Really good movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. And I watched No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence, and that was actually surprisingly funny. That was on Netflix. That was good.
I've heard of that. I haven't seen it though.
Yeah, she's hot.
So. I like Jennifer Lawrence. Wait, what movie was that?
I do too.
No Hard Feelings.
No Hard Feelings.
Yeah, Kat's like definitely adding that to her Netflix queue right now, or Letterboxd watch list.
It's good. It's good watch. It's funny.
Nice.
What was it again? One more time.
No Hard Feelings. no hard feelings, kid. Matt, I watched The Exorcist Believer. It was fine.
Right.
Yeah, it was fine. It didn't really.
It's not as bad as people said it was.
Yeah, it wasn't horrible. It wasn't anything earth shattering. Yeah, it was fine. It was okay.
I think it had its moments.
Yeah.
The makeup effects were good.
Yeah, no, the effects were definitely pretty cool.
Definitely not where I didn't think it was going to go as like harsh as it did. Especially for a Blumhouse, they're usually kind of like rainbow foofy happy endings.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah, no, not for this one.
They took it. Yeah,
not for this one. Yeah, and I think it's just going to be interesting to see what they do with this now, because this, again, we already mentioned this a little while ago, but they had a planned trilogy here, and this did not do well. So I think,
and it doesn't make like, where else are you going to go?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, do we need another Exorcist movie? Like, do we need?
Let alone two.
Right? Like, yeah. Like I
No. The answer is no.
So.
That's why when you were like, "Hey, you want to watch a movie?" and he's like, "What about The Exorcist?" I'm like, "No, nope. No."
Yeah, Kat was not interested. That's fine. That's all well and good with me. I understand. But yeah, I wanted to share with you that I watched that. So go ahead.
Did Kat watch it?
No.
Kat did not watch it. You'd like it.
No, why? Why would you? Why?
You probably would like it.
I think you would like it.
You probably would like it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I
probably.
don't do the Exorcist movies that much. I don't know. The exorcism factor just doesn't do it for me.
But you like do you like the Insidious movies?
I do.
It feels like that.
This movie, I think, comes on the same track with those.
All right. Well, I'll put it in my quay.
Throw it in the quay.
The Believer, right?
Throw it in the quay.
Exorcist Believer. Exorcist Believer.
I don't know when I'm gonna have time to watch all these movies, but
I'm sure you might have a few free moments.
Yeah, that one's long too.
There. It is long. It was way too long.
111 minutes.
2.5 hours long.
Yeah, it's fucking like, dude, what are you doing?
You watched that in theaters?
You saw Exorcist
after seeing Saw.
That's right.
God, how long are the movies for? Like 6 hours?
Just about, yeah.
Jesus Christ!
You're giving Kat a fucking anxiety attack.
Did you like have lunch?
Yeah,
what kind of snacks did you?
It was after work. It was on a Friday.
I mean,
I had 2 popcorns.
I mean, I would have had a blast doing that.
Oh my god, Andrew would have had like
it was fine. It was cool.
Of popcorn, like 3 huge giant red Slurpees.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
Tons
what am I
of
made of money?
Andrew would have gone to a fucking diabetic coma.
I look like I'm made of money.
Yeah, right. So quickly, Kat. I know Andrew had a chance to watch this with us too, but we did have a chance to watch Eli Roth's Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And I feel like this eventually maybe will be something that we talk about on the show once everyone has seen it in depth.
We kind of talked about it a little bit last episode.
No, we didn't, because we didn't do a watch list, and it was top 10.
Oh.
So it
was on the bottom of the top 10.
Yeah, no, we definitely did not make my top 10 for the year. Didn't make Kat's top 10 for the year. Didn't make Andrew's top 10 for the year.
Wow.
What I will say, obviously, there is a sequel coming to this movie, and I've heard that they are trying to work with the town on potentially shooting some stuff here. Guess we'll fucking see if that happens.
I don't.
Yeah, right,
I would
dude.
be shocked.
At this point, if I realized Roth, I'd be like, fuck off. Go pound sand. I don't know. But it got a lot of good reviews, made a lot of money, and I guess I just don't see it. It was not good.
It was very meh. I only liked the parts that they referenced that was actually regarding Plymouth. They'd be like, "Oh, Cordage Park." I thought that the Boston accents were over the top.
Oh my god! So
kind of funny though. Like
Yeah.
it was more funny than anything. It wasn't really scary by any means. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, it was, and then like the whole pilgrim aspect of like the villain guy. He was not.
John Carver. Whatever.
Yeah, he was dumb, but
Yeah, I mean, so it definitely it felt like a Scream parody. Like
forced.
Scream with obnoxious massholes. And I get that all these characters were supposed to be like over the top idiot Massachusetts caricatures, but it was so infuriating to watch and just have this on display for the world to be like, this is what these idiots from Massachusetts look and sound like, and what they do.
You know what though? They already think that.
Yeah.
True. It is true. Like if like I feel like it was just like it was if you wanted a walking stereotype of what people from Massachusetts look and act and sound like, that's what they were trying to go for here, which I guess was typically, what was the vibe that Eli Roth was going for.
It was almost like a bad car accident that you couldn't stop watching.
Correct. That's kind of how I felt about it. The only redeeming qualities, which if you're going to go for a slasher, the only redeeming qualities in this movie were the kills. The kills,
which is it's Eli
pretty
Roth.
good. Pretty good. Some of them were pretty good, but
he's going to nail the gore.
Yeah. It's the type of movie that, like, maybe eventually you'll search YouTube for some clips of the kills in a couple of years, but not a movie that I'm looking to revisit, like, every year, like a lot of people are saying for this.
I don't think so.
So, yeah, I would love to have had a different answer on that for Thanksgiving, but I was not really impressed. I believe Andrew called it the most irredeemable piece of dog shit that he's ever seen in his entire life, or something.
He wasn't even watching.
Many other drunken, rage-filled insults that he was hurling at the movie the entire time that we were watching.
He was just yelling at the TV. I was like, "Can you shut up, please?" Jesus Christ!
Oh yeah, he was brutal to watch that movie with. He said, "I don't want to fucking watch this. This movie sucks." I was like,
Andrew, sit down, shut up.
Sit down and shut up, Andrew.
Miss you, Andrew.
So,
kind of.
Kat, do you have anything else that you watched that you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I started watching Jersey Shore again.
Oh God, no! It's horror stuff. Horror stuff. It is horrific. I
thought we were turning a new leaf.
No, a new season.
A new season.
And I watched the Golden Bachelor wedding.
Okay, nope, not going there. There's podcasts for the Bachelor. There actually are Bachelor podcasts, which is
I believe it.
The Golden Bachelor.
Dude, I think Barstool does one, which
probably
so. All right. Anyway, that's what I got for watch list. All right. So why don't we get into tonight's movie? But before we do so, why don't we take a quick 90 seconds to pause and get a quick word from our sponsors? We'll be right back.
It's official. The critics' decision is in. Spooky World is spooktacular. Enter the new black hole. If you dare. Or the new horror House of Wax. This year, don't miss the real Jason, Bobby Pickett, or Alice Cooper. On the 24-hour Spooky World hotline. 508-838-0200. That's 508-838-0200. Spooky World is just west of Boston and haunts every night from October 1st till November 1st. If you had the nerve, you'd phone 508-838-0200.
It's America's horror theme park, Spooky World.
Sleepy Clovers.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
The new face of evil is going to scare you to death. Barrett's Haunted Mansion. It's killer this year. Then right next door to the Abington Ale House. Barrett's Haunted Mansion. Eat, drink, and be scary. Go to bhmansion.com.
All right, we back, baby. We back. And we mentioned a couple of movies in our watch list segment a few minutes ago that were from 2023 that did not clearly make our top 10 movies of the year. And this movie that we're talking about tonight, Satanic Hispanics, is a movie that I wanted to try and squeeze in before we did the top 10 of the year. And I don't know that it necessarily would have made it for me, but it probably would have been close. I kind of really dug this movie. But Satanic Hispanics, by the way, if you haven't heard of it, it is an anthology movie, hence why we're talking about it in JANthology. and I'm a sucker for anthologies. And you can rent this via video on demand right now. I think I paid $7 for it on YouTube TV or Google TV. So I don't know. It's out there.
It was $7
in a variety of different places. But yeah, this is definitely one that I feel like flew under the radar a little bit last year, which is wild to call, just a few short weeks ago last year, but it is 2024. But yeah, I kind of dug this movie. I thought it was really good. Kat, what about you?
I liked it a lot. Hold on, let me get my notes.
Well, just you don't have to run through all your notes quite just
I'm
yet.
not gonna run through all of them.
Yeah.
Love all the soaked. I don't think that's right. And the Traveler, the vibes with like the Spanish culture, like that whole. I liked this whole movie in general because it had a lot to do with a lot of Dia de los Muertos and like all that cool stuff.
Spanish folklore was cool.
Totally into all of it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
And obviously, the title, a play on Satanic Panic, and this is definitely obviously this is a anthology film featuring segments written and directed all by Latino filmmakers. Hence the title, Satanic Hispanics, and as Matt just mentioned, does draw quite a bit on Hispanic folklore and horror related to that. And there's some really cool stuff in here.
I'd maybe watch it again.
I'd check it out again too. Matt, what'd you think of this movie?
I just want to say first, because I thought it was funny. My buddy, I post the movie posters on my story when I'm watching them.
Yep.
And my buddy messaged me on Instagram and was like, "Is this supposed to be a spoof?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's the sequel to Crazy Rich Asians."
Oh God. That's
really but so this started strong. The wraparound story I didn't like.
There were a couple
because
of
I hated the cops.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The cops were awful.
Yep.
And then it was Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite,
which was awesome. Yes, the main character, fine. Pretty awesome.
Obviously, what's his name? Damian
Rugna
had the first segment.
Yeah, guys just firing on all cylinders right
now. Have you seen Terrified?
Yes.
He's very specific with how like his like monsters or demons or whatever look. They all look the same in all of his movies. He has a very niche look. They're all crumpled and deformed and like they look disgusting.
I kind of love it.
And so I beside the fact that it had the dude from When Evil Lurks in it, I would have known that was his bit just off of like how it was like that guy's mom or whatever.
Same.
So the first bit in the movie was the scariest, in my opinion.
Yeah.
By far. Yeah, by far.
And then it got into the second one, which was that like Dracula one.
Oh, that was awesome.
Which was awesome.
Which was very funny.
Time to go, Pen.
It kind of are there names for these?
Yeah.
Because I didn't.
So I have all the names here. So basically, just so we can.
They had chapters, right?
They did. So basically, the people that directed these segments, we already mentioned Damian Rugna, who you know from Terrified and When Evil Lurks. He is just about as good as it gets right now in the horror genre. So he's one of those guys. Anything he puts out, I'll watch. There were also segments directed by Alejandro Brugues, who directed Juan of the Dead. Mike Mendez, who worked on Tales of Halloween and Masters of Horror, which was Mick Garris's TV show. Gigi Saul Guererro, who worked on VHS 85. And then Eduardo Sanchez, who directed the Blair Witch Project. So some big names attached to this one.
The original one?
The original one. He directed the original Blair Witch Project. So let's see. The chapters are called The Traveler, San La Muerte.
I liked that too.
También Lo Vi, El Vampiro, Nahuales, and I think and The Hammer of Zanzibar, which was my least favorite one, I think, out of all of them. It was kind of funny, but
is that the one with the dude with like the giant turd?
It was the one with like the giant the penis hammer.
Oh,
thing.
that was so dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I mean. So like the first one was great. It was scary. The second one was good. It was funny. It was like From Dusk Till Dawn meets like An American War in London.
Right.
And then the third one, the like the witch ritual one.
Oh, I
Pulls her
wrote in my
face
notes.
away and
Mother
turns into like a dog.
Right.
yeah.
That one was really good. I really liked that one.
Yeah.
And that was intense. And then it just fucking nosedived after that, in my opinion. I like had a really hard time getting through the rest of it after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that's the good thing about the good and bad thing about anthology movies, right? Is it's only as good as the most recent segment, and if there's one segment that you don't particularly like, there's always the next one that comes up. Now, I did think the movie lost a little bit of steam towards the end, but started out very strong. I like the first 3 segments were awesome, especially Damian Rugna's one. That was awesome, and then El Vampiro, the Dracula one, was absolutely hilarious. Like it almost kind of felt to me like a long lost episode of like What We Do in the Shadows.
That's what I thought too. Yeah. I agree 100%.
Great.
Yeah. As I was watching that.
Yeah. And then the third one, the witch one, which let me see here. I got to figure out which one is which here. So I know The Traveler and San La Muerte
Which is which?
were both directed by Mike Mendez. Tambien Lovi was the one directed by Damian Rugna. El Vampiro was directed by Eduardo Sanchez, who's the guy from Blair Witch. Nahuales, that is the witch one. That was directed by Gigi Saul Guerrero, which actually makes a lot of sense because her segment in VHS 85
very
very
traditional, like underground, like ancient,
like Mexican and Aztec god folklore type stuff. And then The Hammer of Zanzibar was directed by Alejandro Brugues.
That was dumb.
Yeah, that one I really couldn't do.
Yeah, I was not into that. It felt like they were almost kind of trying to do like an Evil Dead type thing, and I don't know. It was just that one didn't work for me.
It reminded me of that movie Dead Space.
Yeah, actually, now that you mention that,
just like it was just like I get that you're like trying to be funny. It's just like annoying. I'm like, like these guys suck. Like, that's all it was. You know what I mean? Like you want to hate the characters, but I hated them too much.
Was anyone else bothered by the fact that like that thing turned into like this blue-eyed smiley god thing?
You're talking about the final boss villain.
But like at one point it was scarier, and then it turned into this like kind of smiley face, like blue-eyed.
Well, sure. Spoiler for the end of the movie, but
we've already been talking about spoilers.
I guess we kind of have. So obviously, go see. I would say we would all recommend to varying degrees Satanic Hispanics. So go see it if you like anthology horror. I would recommend it. It's pretty good. So yeah, there's that. But so yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like the last monster that walks into the police station at the end of the movie. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that character looked cooler walking into the police station
than it did at the end
in disguise than it did when it actually was revealed.
Right.
Like, cool makeup effects and everything.
That was kind of dumb.
But the design, I don't know if that's supposed to be traditionally what that character's supposed to look like.
Probably is.
Yeah. But it didn't work as well for me as the other design did. I understand what you're saying. Did you have any other thoughts on that?
My other thoughts?
Yeah,
my other thoughts?
Well, I thought you were going somewhere with that.
What do you mean? I went somewhere. I said I didn't like the look of them. That was where I was going.
Okay, gotcha.
I got there. You got there.
All right, I misunderstood. My mistake.
Everyone's there.
It was
Everyone's there.
You went there.
The San La Muerto whole thing, and like, there's actually like a tradition. Did you Google that at all or stuff? Like,
no. Why don't you enlighten us?
Hold on. So San La Muerto, that is like it's a folk saint in the Paraguay, northeastern Argentina, southern Brazil. A skeletal folk saint, so that's what that
gotcha
is. But it's the god of, what does it say? La Muerta is the ruler and queen of the land of the remembered, as well as major character in the Book of Life. She's a estranged wife of an ancient immortal goddess of benevolence, kindness, goodness, generous. So yeah, it's good god things and whatever. Like, it's cool. I like that.
Saint Death.
I like the whole Dia de los Muertos thing for Mexico and stuff too. I've always been into all that stuff, so I like this because of that.
I can understand as a frequent traveler to Mexico in your life. Yeah, and I've been a few times with you. I love Mexico too, and I love that whole
and just seeing the
vibe,
the
culture.
is awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah, I agree. Love me some Mexico. I miss it. for sure. Yeah, I thought the whole vibe of this movie was cool. It was definitely it was interesting that all of the segments were pretty different. There's kind of something for everybody here, so it's not all the same. I would have liked for there to have been another segment like Damian Rugna's, like that would have like some other scarier segments, because that one was definitely pretty fucking creepy.
Either that or it would have been nice to
It was like 2 scary ones and like 2 funny ones.
Yeah.
it'd be nice to have a wraparound one that
Well, there was. It just wasn't.
it didn't really do it though.
It didn't work for you, but there was a wraparound segment.
Yeah.
So that was the one with Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite,
Got
the main character. Yeah.
Eh.
So yeah, I thought it was interesting. It just didn't ultimately work for me. Did you guys have a favorite segment out of the 5 that there were? Matthew?
The first one. Yeah.
First one, Damian. So Tambien Lovi, Damian Rugna's segment, that was my personal favorite too. But the vampire one was actually
I'm like,
very good.
The vampire one was a lot of fun. That's when I texted you guys. Was like, this movie's wild.
Yep.
Yeah. I think the vampire one was probably my favorite.
Let's see here. So I'm reading about. So yeah, obviously, if you are a Fangoria subscriber, let's see, Volume 2, Issue 20, which I believe came out July of 2023.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it here. There is a several page long feature on this movie, kind of broken down by segment, interviewing each filmmaker and talking about their experiences making it and some of the inspiration for each of them. So it's a very interesting thing to read and see kind of where they were all coming from here. But I actually did not know this, that Eduardo Sanchez, who did the vampire one, that El Vampiro, and also did the Blair Witch Project, actually done a lot of television work as well. So he has had plenty of experience with shorter filmmaking. He worked in the From Dusk Till Dawn TV series, which I actually watched a little bit of. It was okay, and he also has worked a lot on Yellow Jackets, which I didn't know.
Wow. I like Yellow Jackets.
Okay.
Yeah, cool stuff there. Let's see. I mean, I feel like the challenging thing, right, with talking about anthologies is you don't want to necessarily, I guess, you can't really go in depth about everything because they're shorter things, and you don't want to spoil everything for everybody. So they're tough to talk about in huge length and detail.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What else do you guys have on Satanic Hispanics? Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Well, in terms of it being scary, I mean, I know it's just like I'm not trying to blow the guy, but Damian Rugna's is the only one that is scary.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Like it's like you're constantly. It's like it starts off with the dude like flicking the lights on and off and like doing all this crazy shit and like look in the bathroom. And it's just like you're like expecting something, so it keeps you on edge.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought that the third one, the Gigi
Saul Guerrerro,
the one that she did, that one was much more in your face, but it was like that one was like, whoa, like what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And it just like that one was a lot more like it just kept going and it was relentless.
Yeah.
And that one stressed me out. So I was like,
for sure.
Like I like this. So it kind of like ebbed and flowed. It kind of like didn't beat you over the head and like pummel you into the ground because it gave you that comedic relief with the one in the middle.
Yeah.
And then I think they like kind of hit too high of a point, it being like way too much. And then they just like I said, it just like free falls after that. Yeah. But the Damian Rugna one, that like creature design, I guess you could call it, was fucking when it like he like is in the other room and he looks in and it just like picks its head up and looks at him and it's like
so freaky.
It's like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah, just like the way the thing moved and the way it looked. Yeah. Like I so like this is the type of movie like it's kind of an indie thing to a certain extent. So there's not even like a Wikipedia page for it. So I was like trying to like without like being on my phone trying to read about the movie the whole time I was watching it. I was trying to like see if I could figure out like
there's nothing.
Whose fingerprints were on each segment when I was watching it, and I knew immediately when that segment started that was his. It just felt like it. So, and I was like, that I kind of almost had an issue with the order of it. They could have saved that one like for the end or the middle, but I mean, it was a good way to kick things off. But I thought that one was super interesting with like the whole Rubik's Cube aspect of it, and like using that to like almost kind of unlock the door to like another plane. That was really cool. It was just like his stuff is just very interesting.
It's very interesting and it's very deep and like he has this. I think all of his shit's connected.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like I really do. Like when I saw When Evil Lurks, I'm like, there's no way what happened in Terrified, how it's this like seeping evil that goes through this neighborhood has nothing to do with When Evil Lurks.
Yeah, with the rotten. Yeah,
yeah. I'm like, there's like this this must be the same universe.
Yeah. By the way, I really want to rewatch Terrified now, and I know Kat, you've never seen it. I would love to watch that with you. Yeah, there you go.
Maybe we can do. Would that be it? That'd be a good one to do for a whole. I think for an episode.
You know what? Well, it is JANthology, and that is an anthology movie, right? We could technically.
I'm down. Hey, dude, I'm down.
All right,
let's do it.
I say that. So obviously next week we're doing our 200th episode.
It's spooky looking.
Which we still need to figure out what we're exactly going to talk about on that. And again, reminder: this is your last chance to give us a call, leave us a voicemail, and have your voice be heard on our 200th episode. But yeah, dude, I would be so down to talk about Terrified after that. If you guys want to commit to that, we can just tell Andrew, hey, I don't think he'd have a problem with it. So I'm cool with talking Terrified.
Let's bully him into a movie.
Sure. Cool.
Like that.
All right.
What about you, Michael? Do you have any thoughts?
I mean, I feel like I've given a good amount of thoughts on this. I really liked it. I liked the vibe. I liked pretty much, not pretty much everything, but most things in it. Yeah, the only one that really didn't work for me was the one with Jonah Ray, which I forget the name of it already. The Hammer of Zanzibar. It just didn't really work for me that well. It was okay. It was just, I get that it was trying to be corny and cheesy. It was just, too much so for my particular taste.
Yeah, it was campy.
Yeah, that guy's all over the place though. Now he's in that new movie that's coming to Shudder soon. The Rock one. What's it called? The Rock. It's a guy who's like a rock star.
And does he say, "Do you know what The Rock is cooking"?
No, he doesn't. I don't believe that he says. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? Hold on 1 second. Let me find the name of this movie.
What does The Rock cook anyway? Lasagna?
You'd have to ask. You'd have to ask Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Maybe I'll.
He cooks ass.
He cooks ass, baby.
I'll tweet him.
Tweet at him. See what he says. Destroy All Neighbors. That's coming.
Oh yeah. That's on Shudder now. I think.
Oh, it's on now. So yeah, I would say he's in that.
I think it's on Friday.
He was also in. He was in Suitable Flesh. He was one of the orderlies in Suitable Flesh. So he's kind of popped up in a bunch of stuff.
That Destroy All Neighbors movie is supposed to be pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I might check that out.
I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, I would say it's gonna be like as much of a balls to the wall kind of movie you can get right at the beginning of the year. You're not gonna see anything else like that this time of the year. So
yeah, I mean, hey, that's why we subscribe to Shudders for this type of shit. So I mean, I'll probably check it out too. I'll make that. I'll put that as my as one of my homework assignments for next week.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Catherine, anything else on Satanic Hispanics or Satanic Invasion, as you mistakenly Spanish Invasion, as you mistakenly called it a few times over the last week?
What did I say the other day? Santana Panorama.
Santana Panorama. I love that one too. It's awesome.
Yeah. No.
All right.
No further thoughts.
Cool.
I did find out what The Rock is cooking though. I googled it.
What does The Rock cook?
He cooks pancakes.
Pancakes.
I thought it was ass.
like Prince for Charlie Murphy. Pancakes. Cooks pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
Took us inside and made us pancakes.
Yep.
I love that bit. Then he just sits there and looks at the camera, and they're expecting him to say something else, and he's just like,
pancakes.
That's it.
Charlie Murphy.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Prince and the Revolution.
Both of them R.I.P.
R.I.P. to Prince and Charlie Murphy. Yeah, good Lord.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's probably going to wrap things up on Satanic Hispanics. Unless anyone else has anything else, speak now, forever hold your peace. My two podcast brethren and sister. No?
Sister?
No.
Your wife.
Yes.
I was like, oh, God.
You know what I was going for there. It was a swing and a miss by me, but that's okay. Yeah. Sorry. Not every joke lands. Jesus, give me a fucking break. We're remote here. It's I'm talking into a computer screen. It doesn't work as well as in person.
No, you're not. You have a person across.
I'm not.
You're ignoring.
I'm not as funny when I'm not in person. I don't know. I'm just going to quit while I'm ahead.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's going to do it for tonight's episode of America's Hometown Horror. Thanks so much for checking back in with us. You can find us wherever you listen to your podcasts. I will not list all of the formats. You know where you listen. We're on them all, baby. And next week will be an exciting week for us because it will be our 200th episode celebration, which I don't know. Probably just going to go back and reminisce on some stuff and talk some bullshit like we usually do, and have some laughs at each other's expenses.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to some voicemails. Go from there.
Yeah.
So that's what I got. This has been another episode of America's Hometown Horror. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you next week for episode number 200. Matthew, Cathy, say bye-bye.
Bye.
Night, everybody.
Smell you later. Bye.
Muchachos.
Muchachos. Bye.
Hey everyone, it's Mike from America's Hometown Horror, and I want to say thanks again for listening to another episode of our show. If you're interested in more local Plymouth podcasts, I'd highly recommend you check out the shows from our friends over on the Inebriart Podcast Network. In addition to America's Hometown Horror, you can find shows from Inebriart, the Old Colony Cast, Bar Talk, Theme Park Legends, and Retro Redoctopus, so head on over and give them a listen.